Hey guys, Mike with Motivate Fabrication. It's been about a year since I've made a video, and I'm back on the 12 by 30 Hendey, finally. So I left off with, I took this gearbox, the quick change gearbox apart, and this is how I left it. So it's been on this red cart for a year. I've fumbled around trying to figure out how it goes back together, but I think I've figured out enough to start recording anyway. Off camera, I put in this lower shaft because it's really just the bearing on this side, and then the engage, I don't know what you really call this, the gear that slides with the handle. And then this bearing. And there's a lock nut. And this bearing has the, let's get a better picture here, the circlip on it. This bearing does not. But clean those bearings. Got the lock nut mostly tight, but I haven't folded over the washer yet. And then I've got the upper shaft bearing in. But what really kind of put me on hold here was this bearing, which this is drives the lead screw. This is a replacement. It's an N205. Found this bearing on eBay, 717 of 79. But it's an identical replacement. There's the old one. I busted up the center part getting it off, but it had some pitting and corrosion on it and it wasn't usable. So I am ready to start putting this together. Get this stand set up here. I tried putting it together once, but I had some burrs on the shaft. So I was really having trouble with getting the gears to slide on it. So I just took it to a wire wheel and cleaned it up real good. So I think I'm ready to start here. So the smallest one, let's see, actually there's a washer. So it goes, there's a kind of a washer sleeve here, then the bearing, and then there's another one on the side of it, and then there's a bushing right here. So it goes like that. And then the first gear. Got my little helper out here today. So there's a little raised area on each one of these. Yeah, that one goes this way. And then the raised area, from what I remember, goes towards, the raised area is on this side. Goes towards Then once it gets this big, it starts being open. So I believe the open goes towards some surface rust on it, but I don't think. Can't feel it with your finger, so. This is what trouble I ran into last time. It's a little dent here. I think that's what's causing me an issue. All right, sorry I had to do some of this off camera. It was getting extremely frustrating and taking way too much time, but the problem I kept having, by the time I stacked, I don't know, 3/4 of these on here, it started getting pretty hard to push them down, but then getting this keyway aligned to each one. By the time I got to this second to last one and last one, I would try to line it up, but what I end up doing is I just keep pushing the keyway this away to where it starts interfering with the bearing on this side, and then the shaft wouldn't go in anymore. But got it in finally. But I have a new problem now because I took in and out so many times and I wasn't very careful. I was hitting this in the center, or trying to. I must have very slightly messed up the thread enough that the nut won't go on. So this is the same thread here. Goes on. I mean, it's a really fine thread. I haven't measured it yet. But I can't get this one on, and I'm afraid to mess it up. But I'm gonna have to either get a thread file. I probably would rather have a die because I can't get it straight, and I really don't want to take this back apart because I think I tried doing it like 5 times. One thing here I wanted to show you that I found interesting, I finally figured out what controls the thrust here. This bearing can move in this housing, so it doesn't control anything. And the bearing in here can slip in and out. Those roller bearings can slip in and out of the race. But I finally figured out how they control it. This is a bearing surface, and there's one right there. And it rides against the back side of this. That bolts on. And then the other one goes here. It goes all the way over. And then you control, and then this is supposed to slide all the way. I can't get it all the way with one hand to get the point. So it goes all the way on. And then you have 2 lock nuts wherever they are. They're somewhere. Here they are. So you would tighten this down, feel the thrust back and forth. And then I don't have the spec. I don't know if there is one, but I would probably set it at maybe, I don't know, guessing 10 thousandths. And then you double nut it so it can't move. And that's what this piece right here controls the thrust this way. And the clearance between that is set with these 2 nuts. So I was really concerned, couldn't figure out how that was controlled, but it kind of finally came together and I realized what this surface was for. And there's an oil, and I haven't traced it down how it gets oil yet, but after I cleaned this all up, I blew all the oil passages out. There's multiple passages in here, and some wicks I'd taken out, but I've blown them all out. They are all clear and clean. So I suggest that you do that as well, because there's a lot of oil passages on these here. Anyway, it's about as far as I can go without getting this nut on. So there's going to be a couple parts to this video, but at least I'm making some progress. There's a good view of it. And I have less parts, but I think I can figure it out. I was really having a hard time getting motivation to get back on this thing. I actually bought a tractor. It was what put this thing on hold, and I did a bunch of work on it, put a loader on it, and got real excited about that. So this kind of went to the wayside, but anyway, I'm back. I don't know how regular my videos will be. I have 3 young kids and full-time job, but hopefully someone finds these useful, and we'll see you next time on part 2. Take care.